What's up, everybody? This is the Sports League Podcast, back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We got the co-host, Amanda. Amanda, another great week of football. Can't wait to talk about this chaotic week.
Oh, it's been crazy. And I mean, we've got John on today, so I'm excited to talk about some of these stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
Starting with that, I mean, John, did you see what the breaking news that just came through
No,
was
I didn't. What happened?
about your Falcons? Falcons named Michael Penix Jr. the starting quarterback over Kirk Cousins. So
Wow,
Cousins got benched.
wow, about time. I mean, that's hard to put 100 million on the bench, but he's
Yeah.
playing shitty. Like even having that pick early, I was just like, the game was just terrible, man. Like this is a team they supposed to just run through. I can't say one good thing is Bijan got 1,000 yards for the year, so big up to Bijan. But
Nice.
the team just don't even look like they behind him. Like the defense
Mhm.
played well, special teams played well. Getting two block kicks. And for the score only to be, I'm like, I was happy. I think I text Alex, like, dude, they finally scored a touchdown. Like, and it was like, yay, But there was nothing else after that. It was amazing for that team. I saw him miss his favorite guy, Mooney. I thought was going to get him back into the game. They didn't get back in the game. And honestly, if you want to be a head coach in this kind of regime, Raheem, I know it's tough because of the business side to sit somebody down is making that kind of money. But it's like, dude, our season went from being top of the NFC South to literally fighting to barely make the playoffs, which don't look likely because if you see how Tampa Bay is playing now, and
Yeah.
3 games Tampa got, and the next 3 games, like I think they can win out, but the Commanders are a tough team. So that's the only team I'm really worried about them losing to. But also, y'all put yourself in a bad predicament now. And it might be too late to save the season like they was thinking.
Well, it's crazy.
Well,
They're sitting at 7-7. And earlier today, when Raheem Morris was asked about it, he was like, "No, we've got to go through the process. We're not making any decisions." And then less than 3 hours later, they're like, "No, just kidding." But you notice how much the game shifted, like their game plan. They only threw the ball 17 times in this game, and he was 11 for 17. Like, yeah, Bijan's playing well, but they're leaning so heavily on that run game to just kind of take attention away from Kirk, which I don't think is fair to the rest of the team. Like you're not paying him all that money to not use him, but also 11, what is he, 9 picks over the past 5 games?
yeah, one
Yeah.
touchdown, 9 picks in the last five.
That's rough. Like I hope this isn't the end of Kirk Cousins. I think he can, have a bit of a revival, but lighting a fire under his ass by having the rookie step in and take over as starter might be exactly what he needs.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think someone could still could trade for him
Yeah.
potentially this offseason. Someone that's desperate for a quarterback and be like, give Kirk Cousins a fresh start somewhere else. Maybe he plays better because he wasn't playing this bad earlier in the season. I don't know what
I
happened.
mean, the problem is, Alex, he didn't get better. Like all the teams, Tampa got better, Carolina's
Yeah,
getting better. Everybody around them is getting better. That's the problem. Like
they're
we
getting
weren't
worse.
they weren't playing well. They were like they didn't have an identity at the beginning. It was kind of like, okay, well, Kurt's still hurt. Now it's like 14, 15 weeks, and you can't say it, he's still hurt. It's just like he's playing like shit the last 5 games.
Yeah,
Like shit.
yeah.
Him getting the touchdown, I thought it was going to be like, okay, well, maybe this will be something. But I'm looking at the team. They're playing the Raiders, like which are
Yeah.
horrible. Like they got two block kicks, and I don't want to knock the Raiders because I love the head coach. I love him as a person. I love him as a
Yeah, but they're so hit with injuries. Like we're not
yeah,
faulting
yeah.
them for being bad.
This game should have been one of those, okay, we're back on track games,
Mhm.
28 points, 35 points. You saw all the people begin the game when I was watching the ESPN, all the people that thought the game, they was going to win the game, but it was like 28 to 14,
Yeah.
28 to this, 28 to that.
Yeah.
They scored 15 points, and really it wasn't even 15 if you think about it. It was just bad ball on both sides of the
Mhm.
ball. But I think, like I said, Bijan did play well, and I don't know if Kurt is hurt like physically on his arm or something. It seems like he wins every time he throws. I was talking to
Yeah.
him. It seems like he's like he's throwing like 10, 15-yard routes, but he's just like doing his face like this, and that's what kind of I don't know if he's been doing his whole career. That's the thing, because I
Yeah.
haven't watched him. I ain't gonna lie to you, I haven't seen him
It
chop.
looks new. It looks to me like he overextended his shoulder, like has a rotator cuff
Yeah,
or
just
And he's not pushing off his back leg as much. He's relying more on his arm
arm
than
strength.
his.
well, I
Yeah.
mean, this was the first game in Kirk Cousins' career where he didn't throw on a first down in the first half of a game ever. Like Kirk has been in the league for a minute, And then in the second half, they're like, all right, we'll let you throw on first down, interception. Like,
yeah, you
mm,
can't be mad at that. Like,
mhm.
I think the Falcons are really going to have to just bite the bullet. Hopefully Penix can come out and play well. Keep the balance with Bijan, though. I think you need to keep the balance with Bijan. Try to get all the other guys back, I guess, into the game. Pitts need to get back in it to literally help his career right now because people are like ready to ship him out. They like, hey, trade him and Cousins. We can get people him. They might want Jonnu Smith back now. Jonnu Smith is having a hell of a year down there in Miami, so it's tough.
They should never let him go.
Yeah, it's tough out here.
Do you think like part of the reason is they almost lost to Desmond Ridder? I mean, he had 2 Hail Mary throws to potentially beat him.
My favorite part of this game is Desmond Ridder finally having a good pass to an Atlanta Falcon.
Yeah.
John, what were you thinking watching Ridder play against your team?
Texting Maria back and forth, and I'm like, man, we're playing 2 Ridders right now. Like, it wasn't no different. But also, I saw the athleticism. He showed a lot of poise playing against his old team, playing against a depleted offense, really, because their offensive line had him running like. But also, I saw the old Ridder too. Like, oh my God, yeah, he's terrible, but at least he was out there trying. But even the fact that, like I said, even the fact that he was possibly about to beat the Falcons just really feelings. Like that's what really hurts my feelings. I'm looking like if they had any kind of power besides their tight end, which was he could have really got off. He had a good quarterback. A couple of those passes were overthrown.
Bowers is so good. Like
he was. Yeah. He was really like just killing these like safeties and stuff on these just straight routes, the straight 9 routes, and he couldn't get the ball to him. You could tell it was frustration, but at the same time, I think everybody wanted to win the game for Ridder, but like it was just bad football, man. I'm like the only thing I can say is that I can tell people are not like confident in their kickers right now. When I saw them like, cool, it was 56-yarder, and usually they're like, cool, kick that shit. You know what I mean? Cool, this quick 3. They took a play, backed it up and punted. I was like, man, like this got to be the biggest. Like, oh, this offseason.
They scared of kickers this year.
I know. This offseason is going to be wild because I'm like, 56-yarder in the game like this. You be like, go ahead and kick it. It's Vegas. They're going to kick this and get these 3 points. They shaded away and punted. I was like, wow, this is really what the team is now.
And it was justified because he had a kick to put him up 2 scores. It wouldn't have come down to the Hail Mary. If he makes that one kick, it was like a 40-something yarder. Couldn't make that one. So these kickers are struggling. John, what did you think of the lone bright spot? How about defensive end D'Angelo Malone? I've never heard of this guy before, but his first career multiple sack game last night.
That's the games you're supposed to. This is a terrible team. That's what I'm saying. Like the defense came to play, and the defense has been playing well the last 3 weeks. I mean, they're putting up sacks. They're still last in the league. There was 19, I guess, at the beginning of the game, but I'm not sure how many sacks they had. I didn't really pay attention to it like that. But it was just the pressure they was putting on, and they're getting more pressure when they're bringing Caden Ellis in the middle. I think they finally figured out Caden ain't gonna cover nobody, so let's just blitz him.
Blitz him, yeah.
They blitz him. I'm sure. Caden Ellis, I think, had a sack or 2. I'm not sure if they gave him 2 sacks or 1, but having him mug up and having him come is bringing them a different variety on the defense. And I think they're finally seeing that, if we're going to get to the pressure, this is how we're going to get there. And also, it's Ridder. People don't just seem like they don't know how to get the ball out. Like even we could talk about the San Diego game later, but like just watching these teams and they're like not getting the ball out. And I think that is credit to their DBs, except for Hughes, because he's kind of trash, but some of them, but I think it's got a real perspective when it comes to their secondary.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting, but at least they got the win. They're back to 500. If Penix comes in, provides a spark, he must be looking good in practice for them to make this move. And so hopefully,
can't look worse. Yeah. That's the only problem you get. Like as much as we want to give Kirk Cousins all these benefits, because we all like him as a person. Like if you don't like Kirk Cousins,
so likable. Like,
but it's like the numbers for the last, even with this win, the numbers like they thought Vegas, it was really a game. Like it was a game. Like one turnover or another Kirk Cousins turnover for a pick 6 or something. Like we don't even want to chance it. Like let's just heading off to Algiers and stuff. And you got to understand, like that is tough being on a defense and you holding a Vegas team to 9, whatever points. But I'm like, this is a game that you're supposed to relax in. This is the game you're supposed to like pin your ears back on defense and just have about 5 or 6 sacks. Go home and have a drink with your wife. I guess I don't know, but it's like, like I said, you can't get any. Even if he's doing worse in practice, it's what you're doing in the games on Sunday that counts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He could be throwing perfect in practice, but he stunk it up 5 weeks.
Yeah.
The total offense was like 180 or something like that. It was like these total offenses this week. This week, the total offense is like the teams that have under 200 yards is crazy.
We've got a game that's over 1,000 yards on total offense, and then we have Monday Night Trash. Like this week was wild. I mean, both ends of the spectrum. My thing about this game is the Raiders should have been out in the first half. I mean, you fumble on your first possession, like the wind's out of your sails. Like the other team should have taken away from there. And they gave up a safety. You give up a safety, the game is over. Like I love safeties because like that is the most disheartening thing that can happen in a football game. Like now you really, really suck if you give up a safety. Like that would just fuck with my head so much. So like I thought Atlanta was going to start taking it away, like running off with it a little bit when that safety was given up. And I was like, how are they really? This is how we're playing the Raiders right now. I was annoyed. So I can't imagine.
We expected this, like what you were saying, John. You expected the score to be like 30-12, like the Vikings Bears, like handle it and win easily. And leave it to my Bears to completely no-show. Let's talk about that. So I didn't have high expectations for this game to begin with. And you start the game in the first half. This is our possessions: turnover on downs, fumble, punt, turnover on downs. That was our first half. Gave them 2 straight possessions to start in our own territory. Like, I get it. The season's done. You're not going to make the playoffs. You're not competitive, whatever. Amanda, I still don't like turnovers on downs in your own territory to start a game. Like, what are we doing? Punt the ball.
Yeah, and you're supposed to play the division rivals better than that. This game was wild. I was yelling at the TV because I mean, even the interception by Minnesota in the first half of this game, this first half was a mess. And we joke that we love garbage, but this was bad. I wanted to go to bed instead of watching these 2 games. This was rough. Like, what on earth, Chicago? Like this, we've talked a little bit about how like third down conversion numbers matter. This is the second time this season the Bears went 1 of 12 for third down conversions. They didn't convert a third until there was less than 15 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
No, they're terrible. It's bad play calling. Everyone was quick to be like, oh, maybe we should hire Thomas Brown as the head coach. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Like, it's okay to dream a little bit bigger than that. Ryan Poles, 3 years in, still hasn't fixed the O-line or the D-line. If you can't win the trenches, you're not going to be very competitive. Plus, you got a rookie quarterback running for his life the entire game. Jonathan Grenard was in the backfield all game. John, what did you think? I mean, this Vikings team, I don't think they're that good. But they're very well coached, and somehow they're 12-2.
Well, I text you. I said I think the Bears can win. Because I just felt like the Vikings was going to be not ready to play, but the Bears weren't ready to play. That's the thing. Because I literally hit you up and I said, bro, I think the Bears can win because I saw they played against the Falcons. Like they didn't play
talent-wise.
And they didn't play great until the end, and I felt like Chicago, if they can get in a rhythm with Williams, if he can get a couple passes out, even if Allen was trying to catch the ball, it's like in the red zone they had a couple of opportunities that he just dropped. Like he threw it right to him in the end zone, and after that, the team just kind of went down. In the second half, they got a couple bull job points. I don't want to talk trash because I play ball. I understand how tough it is to get points, but the team is. You can tell when people are already on their off season. And this shows they playing the Vikings, and I said, man, that's a nice white on white. You said, man, they love to say the snow, but they playing the dome. But I'm like, but for real, like I really felt like if Chicago came to play, like sometimes the people say this is our Super Bowl game. In that game for them, this should have been a game they came and just punch them in the mouth.
These December NFC North matchups should be Chicago just trying to wreck everybody else's season at this point.
Exactly.
And my issue with this is I am not writing off the Vikings. Like, obviously, they could still win out. Like, I mean, they're statistically tied with the Lions and the Eagles.
Yeah.
If they win out, they would win the NFC North. Like, but my issue is since October 24th, they have not played a team. They've played one team that was at 500, no one above 500 in the past 2 months. So
Mhm.
I don't know who these Vikings are. Like, I'm intrigued by this coming up game with Seattle because we know Seattle's good. We know Seattle's crappy. It's scrappy, not crappy. They had a rough week with Geno going down and stuff, but I really wanted the Bears to show up in this game because Justin Jefferson was more open on that touchdown he had in the first quarter than any other touchdown pass all season. Like, so the
Yeah.
Bears didn't even try to stop him. Sam
Right.
Darnold had his least accurate game of the season. And I don't know who Minnesota is because they haven't beat anyone good in so long. Like, their record's
I
good,
think
but are they good?
I think all of us, I think you would agree, like if the Vikings, despite how good their record is, if they go into the playoffs and they play the Bucks or the Rams or the Packers, I think all of us would be like, I'm taking the other team to beat the Vikings. I mean, the Bucks, you know what I mean? And so they're a very well coached team. Credit to Kevin O'Connell, credit to Brian Flores, but I don't think that we are really buying it. And yeah, that's a great stat about now. Their schedule's been pretty easy.
If they win out, and like they played the same games as the same teams as the Packers, but the
Mhm.
Packers had the heavy hitters in the middle of the season. So I feel like Minnesota's just kind of coasted for 2 months. If they win out, I will shut my mouth. They play Seattle, they play Green Bay, and they play Detroit. If they win all
Yeah,
three of those, go Minnesota. Like,
they
good for
won't.
them. I don't know if they can because they haven't had an actual challenge in so long.
I think they lose 2 out of 3, but we'll see. Yeah, the Bears have just quit. Fire Ryan Poles. You know, get. I
Fire everybody.
I want a GM and head coach on the same page. So fire everyone. And yeah, I'm so over Chicago. But I'll say this. This is my bold prediction. What you guys said about the Bears should have been up for that Vikings game. It's the NFC North. You want to play spoiler. I'm picking the Bears to win next week against the Lions. I have a hunch. That's all I'm saying. Got a hunch. The Lions
Okay.
have got like everyone hurt. So
Everyone. Yeah, we'll
yeah.
talk about how much longer their injury list got this week. How do you break a jaw in a football game? Like, what the hell happened?
Well, that's a hit to the helmet, right,
I
John?
know, but like that's not an
That
injury you
happened,
expect to see on the list. Like ankle,
and that's got
hamstring.
to be painful as hell too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like that sucks. Before we move on to the Detroit game, just real quick, let's talk about Green Bay winning a game in Seattle. Oh,
You
most
were
fucking
there
beautiful.
too.
I was. It was amazing. It was I don't know the numbers. I haven't been able to find them, but it was at least 40% Packers fans. Like
Yeah.
it was cheesed up. Like we got cheese curds everywhere. And Seattle fans started leaving at the beginning of the fourth quarter, which is crazy to me because Seattle has beat Green Bay with a 16-point deficit in the final minutes of a game before. So
Don't get me started on Seahawk fans.
dude, that was
Seattle
fucking
fans
wild to
are,
me.
yeah.
But the halftime show was cool as hell. Like I will hate on Seahawks fans all day, but they put on a show. They had the first ever NFL drone halftime show, and it was awesome. They had like the Kingdom and stuff. We'll post a link to what it looked like, and so you guys can check it out. But it was super cool. And this game was weird for me because Green Bay has been a second half team all season, and it has made me fucking crazy. Last week, we played the whole game offensively. Our defense didn't show up. Cool, great, love that. This week, on fire the whole game. Our defense played amazing. It was the most efficient game on all sides of the ball. It was beautiful. I have no comments. Geno
Yeah.
Smith had a rough game. John wants to talk some shit about the Packers real quick. What
No,
was
no,
that?
no, no, no. I was gonna say 23 at halftime. They only gave up 208 total yards in Seattle.
Yeah.
Y'all had 7 sacks on the defense, which is
7.
crazy. I'm looking like, and I ain't saying y'all. I haven't seen y'all really do that. I mean, besides blitzing and stuff like that. But how y'all played? Y'all had 140 yards rushing, 94 yards by Jacobs. I mean, y'all played.
Yeah.
Y'all played
All
like
cylinders.
we was talking about Atlanta in this time of the season. Even if they lost, they still were playing. Y'all was playing on all cylinders. Even special teams was playing well. Like y'all played well. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. The difference is when you look at Atlanta compared to Green Bay. Now for Green Bay, now like, dang, it's the time of the year that you want to see your defense that you don't see doing stuff like this, getting sacks. Like they got 7 sacks.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the defense better have shown up this week after completely no showing in the Detroit game. Like
Yeah.
that
It was nice
pissed
to
me
bounce
off
back.
so much. Like we were
Yeah.
playing third stringers off the street, and we let Detroit win. Like, come on, like what was that? But this game, I will say Seattle they're having a rough time. Geno Smith going down, but Geno Smith was throwing picks before he went
Yeah, he
out.
was getting. Yeah, they
Yeah.
was getting after him before. It wasn't just. That's why I said it was a defensive thing. It wasn't because by the time Geno was out, they was already back.
It
Like
was
it
done.
wasn't like it was something like he lost and then they was getting sacks like every day. I'm like, Lord, like who is this?
It was
I was
crazy.
like, oh, they're getting sacks off sacks. I'm like, okay.
And Carrington Valentine with that pick, oof, it was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Well,
And
rookie Edgerrin Cooper had a great game. That
he
big
is
pick
the
at the
top
end.
rated NFL player in the league this week.
Yeah.
93.6 rating for the week. So beautiful.
Shout out myself real quick because I don't know why people were so high on Desmond Ridder and Sam Howell when they were coming into the league, but I was not. I was like,
Seattle fans behind me were like, "Who's Sam Howell?" And I was like, "Oh my God."
why are we hyping Sam Howell and Desmond Ridder? They become backups now and they get their opportunities this week, and you see why they're backups now. They're just not good quality starting quarterbacks, so
serviceable backups. Like there are worse backups, but they do not deserve to be starters.
They tend to do that. Especially home fans, they like overhype, especially the quarterback, and I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, but Amanda, you don't even want to be put in the category as a worst backup. You like, well, they're worse. You didn't say they're not in there. You just said they're worse.
But I said they're serviceable.
I'm the best of the worst, baby. I'm the best of the worst.
Like they're no Malik Willis, but they can maybe win against a shitty team.
Seahawks had a 4-game winning streak. They were 8-5. It looked like they were going to win the division. But now they're, a big loss. The Rams now are ahead in that division with tiebreakers, and they play the Vikings next week. I have a feeling Seattle's going to miss the playoffs now.
We're rooting for Seattle against Minnesota, guys. Okay, for the Packers.
Yeah, but are they going to get it done? And is it going to be Geno? Or are we throwing out Sam Howell?
Well, they've been pretty vague about his knee injury.
I think he's going to be all right.
It sounds optimistic, but injured Geno doesn't inspire a lot of confidence.
Yeah. So we'll see there. Let's talk John Bucks Chargers. This game surprised me the most out of this week. I did not see this coming. I've been riding the Chargers all season long. They got out to a 17-10 lead. Everything seemed to be going to plan. And then the Bucks score 30 consecutive points and blow this one out, 40-17 in LA, a huge road win. Tampa Bay is hitting on all cylinders right now, and you've mentioned Mike Evans. He's been huge for them since coming back from injury.
Yeah, I think having that captain, having that guy that you can depend on. Also, I can't remember his name right now, but 15 is playing well. Also, the new
Jalen McMillan.
There you go, McMillan. He's been playing well also, but I think. First of all, hopefully in these next 3 games, we can get 251 yards. So he'll get another 1,000-yard season. He had 749 and he missed the game. So he did a great job this week, and they forced it to him, but he got it and took it to the house twice. I mean, so it's a different kind of response. And even if you watch Baker, if you watch how he plays, if you watch how because they're not getting like great protection. So it's not like he's sitting back there in the pocket and just like being able to throw. He's jumping over people, doing all kind of stuff.
Yeah,
making like great throws to receivers that are open or sometimes not even open.
Baker has shaken off so many tackles this season. Like
all season long,
shoving people. He's been ready.
Yeah, but I was telling you, like from watching the Chargers and the Falcons game, the Falcons were able to get pressure on them, and when they were able to get sacks, this is the first game like all year that they were able to get sacks with the Falcons when they played the Chargers. When he has to hold the ball, it's a wrap. When they make him hold the ball, his decision making goes to shit, and he either going to throw it away or he's going to like take a sack. But you watch it, Bucks. I don't
think dudes are getting open either. You know what I mean?
I think the Bucks watch the Falcons tape. And they mug their linebacker up. When they mug their middle linebacker up and come and bring them, he's looking for a quick person to throw to, and next thing you know, he getting sacked. But like during he is shitty. He is shitty. If he can't sit and just watch, he's gonna give it up. And I think Tampa just did a great job of manning up and just bullying them at the end of the game.
Yeah, and I think missing J.K. Dobbins is a big loss for the Chargers. And I think what I'm loving about this season right now is you're starting to see it's December. The running game is becoming so important here on the stretch run in. I think it's going to be huge in the playoffs. And Amanda, I think the big factor in this game, the Chargers' lack of running game, and Tampa Bay, they got Rachaad White. But how about rookie Bucky Irving is really coming on lately? He's been huge for them.
He really is. So this game was a bit of a journey for me because I picked the Bucks to win, and Alex was trying to make his comeback this week. But I mean, they started off strong. We traded off touchdowns, and then we got some traditional Baker Mayfield interception, fumble, possessions. Like kind of what you expect from Baker. And the Chargers were up 17-10 for like 3 possessions, and I was like, oh shit, like this isn't gonna go my way. But then they scored on 6 consecutive possessions. Like they really pulled it together. And I was kind of surprised at how well they played because they were missing 3 starting safeties going into this game.
Right.
So I thought that they would have some issues with that, but I mean Bucky Irving, so good. I mean he did whatever he wanted, and this is the best scoring defense too. So you would expect more of a fight here, some more forced turnovers, but I know we have talked a little bit about how I feel about Justin Herbert when he plays injured. Was I right or was I right? This man cannot win with an ankle sprain. He can't. He lost week 3 and 4, and I told you he was going to lose last week and this week because that ankle sprain's back. Like, he does not play well injured. He thinks he's Brett Favre, and he's not.
Yeah, and of all times when you need a running game, a reliable running game, is when you're dealing with an ankle injury like that or something holding you back. So the Chargers are hoping to get J.K. Dobbins back before the playoffs. That'll be big for them. But a tough loss. They fall to 8-6. Bucks on a 4-game winning streak. They play at the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. And the Chargers are going to be playing Thursday night 2 days from now, Chargers-Broncos. That's going to be a big game in the AFC West. I can't wait for that one.
That one's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I'm kind of bummed that they started Justin Herbert and let him wreck his streak. He had the 5th longest interception-free streak in NFL history, 357 consecutive passes, and then played injured and threw a pick. Should have benched him for this one.
Yep. Real quick, we don't have to spend much time on this. The Cardinals beat the Patriots at home. They were up 23-3. They win 30-17. Cardinals snap their 3-game losing streak. They get to 7-7. I don't think any of us trust the Cardinals though. In a very competitive NFC West, I don't have the Cardinals winning that division and getting into the playoffs. John, what do you think about the Cardinals? Kyler is so inconsistent up and down to me.
Well, first of all, I got to give a shout out to Gonzalez. He played his ass off. Like if you saw, he blanketed. He made old boy look. He made Marvin Harrison Jr. look like he was like in high school or something. So there was no highlights in the game besides that to me because Kyler threw some good balls in the end zone that Marvin Harrison you would think would catch. He had them in his hands, but he broke them up. But I don't think the Cardinals is a great team, but they played the Pats. The Pats literally looked like they're playing just short ball. They just short passes and hoping for the best. I think they only had like maybe one explosive play the whole game because they're throwing all these short dink and dunks and trying to see if they can get by the thing.
But Drake May went 10 for 10 in the first half. The only other quarterback to do that all season is God.
You could go 10 if you're throwing 5.
That little 3-yard shovel pass was so cute.
Like I was looking like, are they gonna go deep? They had like one deep pass I saw, and that was about it. But it's like they're trying to save their season. They're doing the running game. They're getting the running game that I think is really, really well. I think their running game is nice. But when it comes to passing, they're just trying to get the ball out and make it through the season. I ain't saying they're trying to tank, but they're like, look, May. The stats ain't gonna look like no 4 picks, 17 sacks, and all this stuff. We just gonna get the ball out your hand and see if these receivers can do something. But it is what it is. Cardinals. Like I said, I'm not a real Kyler Murray fan. Never been like that. I think he's a good athlete, but saying that he's gonna be a quarterback that wins a Super Bowl one day, I think it's stretching.
Yeah, agree.
Did either of you notice Harrison missed 2 touchdowns?
Yeah.
There were 2 passes I think he should have caught.
Should have been Gonzalez.
Are you talking the one Gonzalez knocked out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looked like he could have had it and he like tripped it out.
But it was great great defensive play, but I feel like he could have positioned his body better. Like you can tell he's a rookie. Like you can see
Yeah.
it when he's up against good
But
defensive players. Like
Christian's a second-year guy, and everyone loved him for that length and stuff coming in. Like he's got
he's
potential to be an
long,
absolute
man.
star.
He's
Yeah.
he's lanky.
That's why I
Um,
give him credit.
All right. Eagles, Steelers, 17-13 game, but the Eagles pull away to win 27-13. Amanda, all that talk about Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown drama, and they squashed that completely this week. It was nice to see them. Jalen Hurts throwing the ball to AJ Brown. They celebrated together. They were hugging, high fiving. It was good to see, and a big Eagles win.
yeah. They played like they should play. I was worried the drama would kind of catch up with them because we've seen it with other teams. But 10th straight win, they're 12-2. Playing at the Commanders, which I think should be a pretty smooth win for them as well. I wanted more from the Steelers in this matchup.
Yeah.
I know we've got a TJ Watt injury and he's supposed to be coming back. But I just didn't see the life out of them I expected in this matchup. They didn't seem as fiery as I thought they would be. So a little bit
They didn't.
disappointed with them, especially heading to Baltimore next week. Like maybe they were looking ahead to that matchup since it's a conference game, but the
Well,
Eagles played well. I have no critiques against the Eagles here.
I can say this. This is what I'll say. I'm read these stats out, and this is a coach's good game. So we always talk about Nick Sirianni. This is a great game by the coaches. There was 564 total yards in this game. 401 yards with Philly.
Yeah.
damn.
163 total yards for Pittsburgh. Time of possession 40 minutes compared to 20. They were 3 of 10 in third down. Philadelphia was 10 of 17 in third down. They had
Damn.
6 first downs, 77 plays to 41 plays. That's coaching. Like you can say great players, you can say this, and this. That's your coach being smart enough to keep their team off. The best offense to keep their offense off the field. Like and how they played, like that. And I mean, their defense played well. Also, I'm not going to try to take their defense.
I love their defense. Yeah.
They would have possessed the ball for that long. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, like 10 for 17 on third down is ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
your defense, you're pissed the fuck off. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're pissed
And
off.
they
Like,
said all week they weren't worried about their defense against the Eagles.
right.
Like they're like, no, we don't need to shift our strategy. We're good.
And Saquon, it's not like Saquon went off either. Like this was just
He didn't
a
have
great Jalen Hurts game. Yeah.
He did not have to. Like I said, I think that's a well-coached game. They say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to play smart, y'all. We're going to run this clock all the way down. We're going to we're going to manage the game. And I think they managed, the 10 to 17 third down is just amazing to me. Like
That's really good.
Pittsburgh defense is good regardless whether they have or not. They're a good system defense. So to see they gave that much up is crazy to me.
I feel like they were expecting a more run-heavy game, and they weren't prepared for the pass-heavy game. And then, I mean, the Steelers need George Pickens. Like, that's evident as all hell. I just don't think they have enough weapons.
Yeah, they don't have, outside of George Pickens, who they got? Pat Freiermuth, he had a good game, but, like, you're throwing to Van Jefferson, you're throwing to – who are their receivers? Like, you know what I mean?
They just don't have the depth on offense to be missing.
Calvin Austin was their leading receiver. Like, come on now.
They had no rusher over 14 yards.
Yeah, and you had Najee with the fumble.
They had no rusher over 14 yards.
Yeah, and Cooper DeJean with that muff punt early. But that Eagles defense is elite. Those two rookie corners, Cooper and Quinyon Mitchell, that defense, Vic Fangio's got that defense balling, and they're going to be a serious threat. I think they're the favorite. But the Lions' recent injuries, I think the Eagles are my pick to win the NFC. So,
if the Packers play like the Packers played on all cylinders, I think the Packers might be climbing. But I don't trust them, and I'm not getting my hopes up. But if the team that showed up against Seattle shows up for the rest of the season.
Well, Packers, Eagles, remember we had a great game week 1, and we'd love to see a rematch in the playoffs. So maybe we'll get that.
I'll take it. If the Packers are on the table, I'll be on board, but I don't trust them yet. They're still young.
Well, let's talk about Amanda's second favorite team, the Buffalo Bills.
My second and third favorite teams. No, You know, this game, so we talked a little bit of shit about how we didn't see any defense in some Buffalo games where they just let other
Yeah.
teams run up the board and they just score more points. There were no defenses on the field in this game. 1,000 yards of offense. Who are the defensive coaches? Like, obviously, it was a great game. The Bills won. We picked the Bills winning. Alex almost called the final score. He said 44-42, Bills winning. It was 48-42. Like,
Yeah.
he nailed it 50%. Like, he was 4 points off. Like, for Alex especially, that's amazing. Like,
With the year I'm having, yeah.
if it was me, I mean, you're at what, 63% on your picks for the season?
She's killing it though. You're like 75%.
75 exactly.
That's ridiculous. How am I supposed to compete with that, John? She's cheating or something.
No, you're just terrible, bro.
God, what are your picks at for the season? Come on. We've picked with you a couple times.
John's probably got a great record though. He's,
I don't know.
But what in the hell, John? The Lions are trailing by 10 points. 12 minutes to go in the fourth. They got 3 timeouts, and they decide to kick the onside kick. The percentages of recovering that are like 5% these days.
7%.
What is Dan Campbell doing? He's so ridiculous with these decision making.
Well, we should be used to it now, so that shouldn't be something we talk about. We got to talk about it kind of like this is the decision he made this week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the crazy decision.
They were both teams were 100% on fourth down, 197 yards rushing for Buffalo, but 559 yards and 521 yards. They literally scored. I mean, on either side of the ball, that could have been a complete game for any other team in the league this week.
Yeah,
that's how terrible. 28 first downs for Buffalo, 30 first downs for Detroit. Like, Amanda hit it dead on the head. What I was going to say is, like, literally the defense stayed at home this week. Like, both defenses, like, I could, even if we won the game, like, if I'm a defensive coordinator on either team, I'm looking like, hey, we got some work to do, y'all, because we put some shit on film today. We put some 500 yards either side of the ball. Like, this is, and I ain't going to lie to you, man, this looked like this could be a Super Bowl game. Like how they played, it really looks like this could be a Super Bowl game because
this would be such a fun Super Bowl game.
No, like, it looks because I'm saying, but how they scored and how people love to see that kind of excitement in the game, back and forth.
I love me a shootout. Don't give me this 9-3 bullshit.
Look, think about it, two teams that never went. Well, yeah, two teams never really won a Super Bowl, and they go to the Super Bowl, and then it comes to somebody's going to be their first. So that will be this year.
This is my dream Super Bowl. This has been my dream matchup for 2 years now. This is what I want. Like, unless it's Green Bay. I
hate to burst y'all bubble, and John, I want to get your reaction to this because you played on some great defenses.
Right.
So the Lions lost their top pass rusher in Aiden Hutchinson.
Correct.
In this game, they lost their number one run stopper, their defensive tackle, Aleem McNeil. They lose their number one corner. They play a lot of man, and their best man corner gone for the year.
Right.
So you got no longer Hutchinson, no longer McNeil, no longer Carlton Davis. Now you got David Montgomery, your number one running back, hurt. I'm a Lions hater. I've been a Lions hater for 2 years now. I'm not gonna pick the Lions.
30. Guys, he meant 30 years.
The Lions cannot survive this. I know they got Zadarius Smith. The Lions will not survive. I got the Lions going out in the first round of the playoffs now. There's no way. Tell me, do you agree with that? Because that's a lot of losses on the defense.
They still got Campbell. They still got their coach, man. I think the coach going to make something happen. If they still have Aaron Glenn as a defensive.
The coach is going to suit up.
Yeah.
I
just think he's going to put them in a position that they can win. He's going to put players with. And what did I text you, Alex? I said the part of the biggest dummy was Devondre Campbell because he probably could have had a job over there in Detroit.
Yeah.
Instead of cutting him, they just suspended him for the last 3 weeks so he can't go anywhere else. And
he fucked up.
You know how smart that was of them, though? That was so smart of them. Like, we're not going to cut him because he might get a possibility of getting signed somebody else. We're not going to do that for you.
That was petty as shit, and I love it. Yeah. So fucking petty.
Yeah. I mean, that's what he get. And then I said, look, Campbell done fucked up because he could have been like maybe in Detroit. He could have been somewhere else. If he'd waited after the game, like, can y'all
Had
I
a
feel like
conversation. Hey, can you guys let me go? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
the next 3 games, go to another team, don't have that stigma on you that you're a quitter. Like you played
Yeah.
9 years in the league and now you have a stigma. Like one thing can mess up your whole career. And this one thing is like next year, he's going to be almost impossible to sign. Cause nobody,
Yeah.
and like I said, like the thing they did is so evil. Like they ain't even cut him. We're just going to suspend him. And they would take some of your signing bonus. Like, dude, you messed up,
Yeah.
really, bro. Because if you just got asked to trade, they probably like, we understand. We'll let
Yeah.
you go. And you could have walked out there and nobody would have knew you didn't want to play, bro. You could have just. Sometimes you got to do a business decision. That was dumb. You're not that kind of. You're not like. You're not Adrian Peterson, bro. You're not like
Yeah.
TJ Watt. TJ Watt walked off the field. Be like, whoa, oh, it's TJ Watt. It's like, bro, like, who were you?
Yeah.
You gotta know your I guess you gotta know your rank. You know, people got ranks in the locker room. Like you walking off is kind of like, bro, like seriously, man, like we don't care. like our season is trash now. You gonna make it look like this? Nah, come on, bro. Know your bro. You gotta know your work.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't want to undermine any of Josh Allen's success in this game, but I love that this man proposed to his girlfriend, gets engaged, and since then, 704 passing yards, 151 rushing yards, 10 touchdowns, no turnovers. Like that boy is in love. It's working for him.
She said yes. Now he's got that swag, that confidence. He's balling out now.
He's so cute. He's like, oh, I'm gonna marry an actress. Shit, she pretty. Like he's good for him. I want a dual MVP this season. I know it would never happen, but running back,
Saquon?
Didn't
Allen.
it happen? Didn't it happen that year with old boy?
Yeah, Peyton and McNair.
I don't know if they do it, but he fucking deserves it. Like, and
Yep.
Lamar this season too. Like
Yeah,
he's had
Lamar's been great too.
they
Josh
were plays
Allen.
in both of their games where they were running and holding their pants up because something went wrong. Both of them just be running down, juking defenses, holding up their pants. Like, what is happening? Both so good. Josh Allen, fastest thrown 50-yard touchdown ever recorded. Like,
They said Josh Allen, first player in NFL history with 5 consecutive seasons of 35 or more passing and rushing touchdowns.
I love him.
I know.
He's so good.
Give him his credit.
Yeah.
Yep.
He just in the Buffalo.
But can we just give Jared Goff a quick little hug though? How the fuck are you gonna throw for 500 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, and lose the game?
But is that's really what they're gonna have to do for the rest of the season? How their defense is?
Yeah, with their defense. It just sucks. Then you look at Bo Nix, who over here 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 130 yards,
won the game
and won.
Yeah,
like that's just not fair, man.
Last night and got the win, right? So
that's just wild.
But I just think it's become now so much more difficult for the Lions. Like, exactly, they're gonna have to put up those offensive numbers every week, and you get one bad Goff game, or of course you got the Dan Campbell, wild card decision making. It's just so much more difficult now. Even as a Lions hater, I want to see this team get beat at full strength, not with all these injuries, and so that sucks, and. Some of those guys are my favorite players to watch too. Carlton Davis, David Montgomery.
When I was in line to go into the Seattle game, there's some people behind me and some guy, I'm just eavesdropping because I always do. But some guy's looking at his phone. I was like, what the hell happened? I was just winning fantasy by 30 points. And I was like, your opponent had Gibbs, didn't he? And he goes, oh, fuck. And I was like, I knew it. I fucking knew it. Like he put up numbers in this game. Their offense is so good. It just really sucks that they don't have a defense.
And now it's his opportunity. Gibbs could go put up some crazy numbers without Montgomery.
There's no 1-2 punch, no Sonic and Chuckles, just
Yeah.
So hopefully it gets him a nice big fat contract because we are past our let's not pay running backs phase of NFL.
Absolutely, and we love it.
Let's not pay kickers because none of them can fucking kick.
Let's go to Colts Broncos. This is one of the wildest games. I mean, you look at it and you think, the Broncos win 31-13. What's there to talk about? But some absolute craziness is in this game. First of all, John, you messaged me. We had 2 players on Sunday drop the ball as they're going in for a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor, one of them in this game, and it kind of seemed to swing momentum completely in Denver's favor. John, how does that happen? I mean, I don't get it.
Yeah, I think we never will. I understand it's an exciting game, But it's got to get to a point they're going to have to start coaching. And it's sad to say that you're going to have to literally tell people to hold the ball until you get into the end. And literally, the Bronco didn't win this game. The coach lost it. I mean, decision making, whether it's that fumble and that
for the
trick play, they had 5 turnovers and it came just from dumb plays, like just stupid plays. Like, what are y'all doing? Special teams played well. I mean, but the Broncos were defeated. Like, all the coach had to do was just maintain. And I was wondering what was the reason of doing that play at that moment. I felt like them running the ball was well. Like just how they were controlling the game was fine. And then why do we need this play right now? Like,
keep it simple.
Like okay, they say KISS, right? Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, stupid.
So I'm watching the game and I'm sitting here like Knicks got comfortable for like 2 seconds in the second quarter, then third quarter came right back and threw a play. Like, it was just like he was off that day and he didn't even have to come to work. He was lucky that the coach said, let's try some new shit. Let's try, we really ain't losing. They got a great kickoff return, and then they came back, and it's just like watching football, and you knew it was over after that. After that, it was over. Like everything just died down after that. I was looking like, it's over with now. But that was just a stupid, like, and I don't even like calling plays stupid, but it's looking like
there was some idiotic stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. Like, and old boy was running the ball hard. It was like, I don't get it, man. It was bad football, man.
So my husband pulled his phone out and he saw the score. He's like, "What the fuck? We're gonna lose to the Colts." I was like, "No, dude. The Broncos will pull it off. Just they do some. I know we talk about Kansas City having some weird devil magic. How are you gonna lose after throwing 3 picks? Like, they were not good in this game. I know Bo Nix has had some good games. We've got some Cortland Sutton. We've got some talented receivers on the team, but like, they should not have won this game by any means. I think Abe nailed it on the head. Like, this was won by the coaches just pulling some shit out of a hat.
Yeah,
and with that 50-yard pick six situation, like that
it was not necessary, like Abe said, and it, I don't know what the play call was. Sweet trick play, right? Like Shane Steichen.
Like, was it a sack or was it an interception? Because
it was technically a fumble. On the stats, it's a fumble recovery for a touchdown.
Yeah, it counts as a fumble.
Shit, that should be a sack then. Because I'm saying, if the dude threw the shit backwards and he caught it, it should, like, that. A fumble is a sack, right?
Yeah, strip sack.
Somebody, so I should get a sack. Because I was looking like, what the fuck is it? Now, is it? Because they said interception for a touchdown. I said, that's not an interception because he threw it
backwards. Yeah.
I would be in the meeting room like, y'all gonna give me my damn sack.
Give me my goddamn sack. I earned that shit on my stat sheet.
I'd have been talking all I feel about my little sacks. I need every bit of that. I want that as a sack. It wasn't no fumble. That was a straight, that's a sack.
To me, that's a fireable offense. Like, I'm firing Shane Steichen after this year, and it's not just because of this year.
We've been ready to fire him for a week, Alex. Come on.
Fire.
Look at his shirt. Look at his shirt. Alex, show us.
Fire everyone. Shane Steichen, he sucks, though. And I've been saying this for years. Last year, they had a chance to win the division. And on 4th down, they called some stupid shit, threw it to the 3rd-string running back on 4th down, and lost the division. And now you've got the Colts are still in the playoff hunt. And the Texans aren't running away with anything. And to do that dumb shit and to blow a game like that, this dude's he's under 500 in his career. Like, I'm calling for Shane Steichen to get fired, but I mean, it's easy for me to say. But that was a terrible loss for the Colts.
Well, I mean, you mentioned the Texans. Let's talk about that game, because that game was messy.
I'll say
this. We had Tuscaloosa Tua back, and then the Texans defense has fallen off a little bit. Yeah. The Texans defense played like they've been supposed to all season. This is the game we've expected from them for the past 9 years.
And I'll give them credit in a rapidly becoming more softer NFL. DeMeco Ryans, that defense plays physical, and they'll hit you. I love that Texans defense.
This is the first time I've actually seen a hit to us since his concussion. Everyone else pulls up. They're like, "No, fuck it." Like, he was getting.
They got to him.
Yeah. I like that they were pulling back. But nobody on defense wants to be the guy who causes concussion number 4 and turns Tua into a vegetable. So I can
Yeah.
see why other defensive players are pulling up, but CTE Tua was back in this one. So I
But
don't.
he was just bad. 4 turnovers and some really bad interceptions. John, I I mean, of course, I don't want Tua to be hurt, but his play on the field hasn't been getting it done of late. You know what I mean?
No, I can't put that on him. That Texas defense just played their ass off.
Yeah, Stingley.
Listen, the Texans only had 181 total yards because,
Yeah,
like a possession, like the field position was literally in the red zone like all the time. Like they didn't have. You got to benefit your defense with creating turnovers. And
yeah,
Stingley just came out there like Stringley or whatever his name is. He came out there and just like I'm controlling this game. So I don't think it really was Tua. I think it just a good defense this week.
Yeah.
The plays they're made, and then think about the missed extra point by Miami, and they did nothing in the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter, Miami could have just went home after that.
yeah.
And the Texans didn't have to do anything because their defense played so well. Their young guys came to play. Like their young guys really came to play. And when you got a defense, 4 turnovers, 3 picks, and a caused fumble, and they got 10 points just off turnovers. So they could have won regardless. Like they didn't really need a lot. So you got to give credit to their defense, man. I'm not going to say that anybody played bad, but this defense just played well. They really they came to play. They didn't care about.
This is what they should have been doing. I don't know what happened the past couple months. Like this is what I thought they would be all season. And then they just kind of like disappeared for a little bit, but they didn't have any like major injuries to explain it away.
I wonder if they're rallying around the Azeez Al-Shaair suspension and playing for him, playing like we got done dirty. He shouldn't have been suspended. We're just playing football. Maybe they're rallying around that. DeMeco Ryans is a hell of a defensive coach.
I love him. He's so good.
Yeah.
I wonder maybe if he had some attitude issues in the locker room and they're just playing better without him too. Like it could go either way.
He's a hell of a linebacker though, and they defended him like crazy, So
it's just interesting because like we only see like the outside. Like we see like him going, they play better. Like so we can interpret it however we want, but like sometimes what is going on in that locker room? Like I want to know what Penix is doing in practice. Like I'm so ready to see him on the field because like he looks better than Kirk, obviously, but like
take much.
Really?
Or is he just like slightly better than Kirk?
You don't have to be like that's.
I know.
Like you don't got to be much better.
Brother Kirk Tholomew Cousins just needed a little break. Okay, he needs a sabbatical.
Real quick, so John, I talked to you about Odell Beckham Jr. getting released by the Dolphins and looking for a home, and the Texans struggling. Perfect fit for Odell Beckham Jr. Houston Texans. In my opinion, they lost Stephon Diggs, put him alongside Nico Collins and those guys. Give CJ Stroud another.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's a good idea too. Even go back to Baltimore.
I don't see nothing amazing about Odell anymore. I mean, just besides the name. So y'all acting like he's just going to be excited to pick him up. I'm like, I'm good. Like I'm just being honest. Like for me personally, if I was on the team, I said, don't bring him in here now. He can come do his act like he just came and made our team amazing. Nah, like he did nothing in Miami. I'm good. Like just bring us.
That's why I say Pittsburgh though, because Pittsburgh is the rehab for written off players. Look at all the players who people have completely been like, nah, they're done. They're Russ isn't past the prime. Like Pittsburgh has been the NFL player rehabilitation center this year.
Yeah.
Do you want that? Do you want Antonio Brown attention? Do you want that attention that Odell might bring? Like I know you like.
I don't think anyone cares. Does he get any attention anymore?
Well, it has to be a team that can handle it, right? There is going to be some drama, some attention. It has to be a Mike Tomlin type head coach.
I was gonna say Mike fucking Tomlin.
Yeah. But John, to your point, I agree 100%. He's only got 9 catches on the season, but OBJ strikes me as the type of guy that could come in and like have show up for one playoff game. You know what I mean? Maybe, I don't know, because he played well in that Super Bowl with the Rams before he got hurt. But
go to the Chargers. He can go to the Chargers.
Yeah, that would be a great fit too. I would love to see that. He might not have anything left in the tank, but I think there's going to be teams that are desperate for like some receiver help that might pick him up.
Yeah.
So speaking of receivers who have something left in the tank, Devontae Adams in this 3-10 matchup between the Jets and Jags, riveting.
Jets looking amazing.
Dude, what the hell are Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams doing, waiting to do all of this in week 15 when they are eliminated? Like,
This is for next year.
I
They're
fucking
like, we're showing out for next year.
that is definitely some shit Aaron Rodgers does. Like 334 yards, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. Devontae Adams, 9 catches for almost 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, we're eliminated. Cool. Now we're gonna show up. This game just annoyed me. Why y'all blowing up like that right now? The fuck was this in week 7? Come on.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers looking healthy too. He have some rushing yards in this game as well?
Yeah.
45 rushing yards.
Old man chucked his cane to the side and took off on his feet a little bit there.
Yeah. John, what are your thoughts on that one? And then let me get your thoughts on this, John. The Jets bring in Thomas Dimitrov, the former Falcons GM, for the Jets interview for their GM. What do you think about that?
I ain't gonna talk about Thomas.
Okay.
Okay.
I am not talking about Thomas.
Okay.
I will say the Jets, they supposed to win this game. I mean, let's be realistic. Let's just cut all the bullshit saying that they played well. This is a game they supposed to win. Just like you saying, where was this in week 7? This is supposed to have been a team that we've seen every week.
Exactly.
To see it now still is good to see. And the crazy thing is, if they can finish the year off like this, all these people talking about Aaron Rodgers shouldn't be there next year, we're going to start to concede and say, nah, he can come back. We can see it happening now. So they can talk all the trash they want. He's still Aaron Rodgers, still Devontae Adams, and that team is still good enough to be a good team. But this is a team they supposed to be. Like for me,
exactly.
It ain't.
The defense was good.
Yeah. This wasn't nothing amazing to me. It was like, yeah, y'all won good. Like, go home. Like this.
Yeah.
Like
exactly. And
I think all the other guys in the locker room, like, thank y'all. Finally, are we ready yet, y'all? I mean, I know the season's almost over. Can we just finish like this? Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
It almost annoyed me that they decided to be good now. Like, y'all should have worked these kinks out weeks ago. And like Mac Jones, still Mac Jones. Like, I want to give credit to the Jets defense a little bit, but like that one pick, the game ender, he threw that to Sauce Gardner. Like that wasn't even good defense. That was just an awful Mac Jones throw, which is kind of what I expect from him.
Right.
Another backup quarterback that everyone's like, oh, he's a starter, he's a franchise guy. Nope.
By the way, it was 45 yards that Aaron Rodgers rushed for.
Nice.
45.
Yeah. 45. Not bad for Grandpa, huh?
Yeah.
Get the Jags a quarterback like maybe Cam Ward from Miami, or trade up for maybe Shedeur Sanders or something. Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be a star in this league. He looked great. He was the lone bright spot for Jacksonville against that Jets defense.
Yeah.
I could see Sanders as a dad.
Deion is not letting Schroeder go. He's not letting his son go.
I could see him there. I don't think his daddy would let it happen.
That is not going to be. Oh, no. We ain't doing that. That's what we're not doing.
Cam Ward, though. John, you like Cam Ward, Miami?
That's the TBDs right there. To be determined, man. Because I can't. These people can play great because they got a great system and they have great receivers around them, and ACC is, whatever it is, so I got to see you in like when you get to the league. Let me see how you look first. He's one of those guys that just don't stick out as like, oh, he's going to be like he was in a good system. Like like he was in a good system. I think he's going to be a great player, hopefully. But we might have another guy like for Indiana right now, and he start off like that. So you never know, man, until they get in the league and how they poise is and how they take the game serious or not.
Yeah, right situation, right coaching, offensive line protection, all that matters too, 100%.
I want to talk about another game with no postseason implications.
Yeah, real quick, Cowboys, Panthers. How about Cooper Rush? All the dude does is win football games. 8-4 as a starter, Amanda.
I talked shit about him. I was wrong. I thought Bryce Young was starting to find his stride a little bit. He had that late season turnaround. It kind of hit a little bump here. 3 turnover worthy plays. He was not very accurate with the ball at all in this one. But good for Dallas. I mean, it's a serviceable backup.
To Dallas, Rico Dowdle, 3 straight 100-yard rushing performances. He's getting it done.
got
He's
off.
quietly very,
Yeah.
very good this season.
Yeah.
don't have anybody else like that, but I know I text my homeboy because he's a huge, I'm from South Carolina, so everybody like, oh, you a Panthers fan? I said, hell no. I said, I didn't grow up with the Panthers. They didn't get to the 96. I was like 18 then. By then, I already liked the Redskins. I like the
Too
Raiders.
Too late for you.
There we go.
I didn't like Green Bay because I didn't like the green. I don't know. Green just didn't look good. I ended up going to the Jets. I hated the Jets. I'm like, I hate the But I think my homeboy, he was at the game. He was like, at halftime, he said, man, I left at halftime. Them boys that came to play. He didn't lie. That's all he had to say. Like sometimes, like I tell people since I've been done with football, the best people to talk about football is fans because y'all know better than we do. Because y'all see that y'all know a lot more stuff than some of the players do. Because sometimes we're biased because we might know the people personally. Like, no, he's gonna be good.
Yeah.
No, he's did this. The stats. My homeboy is like he left at halftime. He said, man, them boys did not come to play. He ain't lie.
They even tried.
Game that they supposed to won, even if they had rushed. It was not, some of these football games, like they used to tell us, everybody getting paid. You watch games like this, everybody getting paid. So, so they gonna get a check regardless. So hey,
that's how I felt about the Giants against the Ravens. Like they were there.
They were there.
That's about it. Like obviously the Ravens won. Like that was an easy win for them. I mean, I was surprised the Giants had 14. Like I just don't think either team for a second thought the outcome would be any different than it was. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't even need to use Derrick Henry in this game. It was easy. Tommy DeVito
70 yards, 67 yards or something.
Yeah, 67, I think. Tommy DeVito leaves with a concussion, so they're putting in Tim Boyle. When Tim Boyle enters the game, it's over.
Yeah, if you have a third stringer stepping in at QB.
Yeah. How are we feeling? How are we feeling about the Ravens? On Saturday, they're going to be playing the Steelers in Baltimore. Big ass game for the AFC North. How are you feeling about that one, John? I can't wait to watch that game.
Is Pickens going to be back?
I hope so. I'll look it up right now. I haven't heard.
I think that's the biggest question, whether they're going to be able to manage. Because I think with the running game, even though Pittsburgh does have a great defense, I think if they can control the running game and if they can't keep Lamar in the pocket, it's going to be a long game. And teams usually do just watch tape. So they're going to watch that Philly tape and see what Philly did. And they're going to try to do the same, implement the same stuff that worked for them. And they have just as good of a back, and a quarterback can do just as much as the quarterback can do for Philly. So it's almost like facing the same team. Let's just see what the O-line and the D-line can do for Baltimore.
Yeah, the Ravens and the Eagles teams are so similar. Right.
Yeah. The Steelers are saying they're hopeful. George Pickens, he's making progress, so they're hopeful he'll be good to go for Week 16.
Yeah, he was doing some drills at practice today, so
yeah.
I guess we'll see. I think if he plays, they might stand a chance, but based on their performance this week, I don't think Pittsburgh can handle it.
Yeah, and if the Ravens win, maybe they can get back and win that division. They went, it's a slump a little bit, but they're getting back in there. So we'll see. And then how about Lamar Jackson? What did he have? It was like 5 touchdowns and 5 incompletions.
Yeah.
Just absolutely.
29? What? 29? What? 24, 29? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. Or 25 for 29, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So good.
It's a good game.
Another interesting matchup. You don't think so on paper, Commanders at Saints, but the ending of this game was very interesting. The Commanders looked like they had this one in the bag. They're up 17-0, but the Saints fought back in here. Spencer Rattler, coming through in the clutch, but the refs kind of stepped in here. What do you think of that ending, John?
First of all, the Saints defense, 8 sacks. For me, that's amazing because this quarterback is one of the most elusive quarterbacks. So the rest of the year is kind of looking like, I'm talking about Atlanta also. So Atlanta's sacks have started going up, so hopefully they can watch because the Saints aren't a great sack team. So hopefully they can watch the Saints tape and see like what they need to do to keep them in there. But Rattler came in and started. He came in and really played well. He played a poor game. Field goal missed by Washington could have pushed it. Not even been this kind of game at the end. It's like all these missed field goals. I'm like, dude, what's going on?
Yeah.
Literally, what's going on? But that was some bullshit, bro. Like I don't even know what to say because he just did like this. Like I don't know if he had
He stopped the clock.
Like it wasn't even a first down. Like I'm trying to think like what was he thinking because like it don't make sense. I'm trying to rational like why would you blow it dead?
Like who said something into his mic that he misheard or something? Like it was weird.
Probably money on the game.
They haven't explained yet though. Have they?
No, there's been no explanation.
What happened? Like
they got lucky. The NFL got so lucky that the Saints didn't pull that off with that 2-point conversion because this would have been a much bigger deal. I don't know what happened, but the NFL has to come out and like suspend that ref or fine that ref or do something.
Yeah. What about them going for 2 there instead of just taking the extra point?
They season over with. They're like, fuck it, we're gonna take this win while we can. I don't think they trusted that in the overtime they had enough juice to do it. Like I think that was a good game. I think that would have been one of those like I said, at the end of the season when you're not doing anything, like let's get a just mess somebody else's season up and get this win, because I wouldn't take
interim head coach trying to like make a name for himself too, they had no business being in there at the end, so why not just go for the win right there? But good stop by the Commanders.
What is going on with the Commanders O-line though? Because that didn't seem like it was an issue previously. So I'm intrigued.
I think the rookie's just getting tired. Like, because he was trying to do all them dancing moves instead of just throwing it away. He's trying to be a superhero. Because if you watch the sacks, a couple of those
ballerina early in the season.
I'm saying few of the sacks, it literally him was trying to break tackles instead of just he's outside of the pocket. They got to tell him like just throw it away. Like at least
he's been holding onto the ball way too long.
Yeah, like 3 of the sacks I saw him trying to dance and holding, and he thought he could outrun the guys. He trying to jump back. He jumped right back into the defender arms. So some of them sacks are on him. Like, but sometimes you got to just throw it away. Like, we don't care. Like, you don't have to make a play every time. You don't got to be on Sports Center. You don't got to be on top 10 every week. Just throw it away.
He's trying to hold on to that offensive rookie of the year. Is what he's trying to do.
Yeah. You ain't gonna do it on your back.
Saints have some dogs on that D-line, too. You got Cameron Jordan with 2 sacks, Chase Young with 2 sacks. You got Brian Brzee. So, they're had a good game.
I feel like we can just one-line the Bengals at Titans. I mean, I don't know.
Well, we got to talk about this a little bit because we got to talk about how bad Will Levis was in this game.
Hey,
and
man.
that's the one line. Will Levis sucks. Moving on. Like, what do we need to say?
This is turnover city. Even Joe Burrow had 3 turnovers.
This game was garbage. Clearly they're both just flinging it at this point because like the playoff hopes are dead. But Lord, I cannot Will Levis 3 interceptions, a fumble loss, benched in the second half at a game his ex-girlfriend who was at the draft where he got drafted was at. She was at the draft.
You can't throw 4 picks with your ex
social media.
Thing.
4 fucking turnovers. My man
see
is still hung up on her. You can tell.
You can't else.
I guess technically the Bengals are still in the playoff hunt, but ew.
Bold take. The Titans would have won this game if they started Mason Rudolph, and it's December. Start Rudolph. What are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Titans.
We're close to Christmas. We know Rudolph, the red-nosed backup quarterback, likes to have in fucking December.
There were 10 turnovers in this game. That's crazy.
It was
it was fun to watch. I was enjoying it. And this reminds me, because there was no good games in the 1 o'clock window, and we're complaining about Monday night. Why couldn't we flex Steelers Eagles or Bills Lions or one of these good
Lions
games?
Should not have been buried in the afternoon. I'm so mad.
Yeah.
The fuck.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But anyways,
a good Thursday night, a good Sunday night, and then 2 garbage games on Monday night.
2 garbage.
Yeah.
It was oof.
Our last game, we'll talk about the Amanda. I don't know why I picked the Browns against the Chiefs. I was hoping they could dirty it up and make
Because
it close.
Carolina almost beat the Chiefs.
But
Because Carolina almost beat them. That's why.
yeah,
The Chiefs have
and the
barely won
Browns
their
beat the
last couple games.
Steelers. Yeah, I was hoping, but Jameis Winston was throwing it to the other team.
No,
No.
I mean Jerry Jeudy has been popping off. He had a great game. So like I could
Mhm.
have seen it go the other way. Like Jameis
Yeah.
Winston has the potential to beat the Chiefs, but that potential was hiding in his, I don't know, it's under the Christmas tree or something, because 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions is the wrong Jameis to show up against Kansas City.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not the one we wanted, buddy. No, thank you.
A lot of turnovers, a lot of bad quarterback play this week.
Right.
John,
And a
it
lot
said,
of injuries this week
yeah,
too.
Nick Chubb.
Chubb's, and
That
then
sucks.
what is
After all he's been through, coming back, and then now to have a broken foot, now he's got to rehab again.
It's
You know,
Hurt my feelings. I sent you a message about that when I saw that. But do you play Mahomes the rest of the year?
I
No.
wouldn't. Who cares about the 1 seed? I would rest him at a
Even
week or
for
two
the postseason.
because they got a Saturday game, a short week, and then a Wednesday, like on Christmas. So they got back-to-back short weeks. Rest Mahomes for at least 1 or 2 of these. But they're saying he's a full participant in practice. It sounded like they're going to play him.
They probably gonna let
Carson Wentz.
yeah,
Carson
no,
Wentz.
let Pacheco or whatever his name is run the ball.
Pacheco?
Like, let him
Yeah.
walk legs. He missed like damn near a whole year. Get your ass out there and get about 200 yards rushing. We're gonna hand this ball off 40
Oh, catch up. Get your
Yeah.
numbers up. Let's
Yeah,
do
we
it.
hand this ball off 40 times. Like you gonna
Yeah.
hey, I would literally
Saquon Pacheco, let's go.
if he plays, I would literally just be like, look, I'm telling you what we're doing. We're running run right, run left, run middle, run like
Yeah.
like you're not
Carson Wentz as a backup,
yeah.
use Carson Wentz. Like he's
Yeah.
there. He can handle some black magic wins over here. Like
You can't do that.
And they got some tough games coming up. These aren't like easy matchups that they're just going to roll in and win. They're playing the Texans on Saturday. They're playing at the Steelers on Christmas, and then at the Broncos Week 18. So these are these are games. Even if Mahomes plays, they could lose.
Right.
So it'll be interesting.
I would
But
rest him. You've got enough wins. You're already going to the postseason. Don't fucking ruin it.
yeah, one thing you can bet on is Alex is going to pick against the Chiefs all 3 of those weeks.
One thing you can bet on is Alex being down 30 games next week.
No, I'm going to be down 10. I'm gonna,
It's
massive
26 now.
comeback. John, I'm going to finish the season 13 games back, not this 26 bullshit.
So you still gonna lose, huh?
Yeah, I'm still going to lose. I've admitted to that.
There's no coming back. Like the season's gone. Should we stop keeping count? Like, are you?
Yes.
We're getting there. If it gets to 30, I don't want to hear the number anymore.
I was like, we're not picking anymore. We're just gonna give you a preview and then thanks.
We'll get out of here on this note. Thursday night football, the 9-5 Broncos at the 8-6 Chargers. LA looking for the sweep of Denver. You guys got the Chargers winning at home against Denver. A good defense. Should be a good game.
I think they can win that. I'm not a Chargers guy. I'm not a Chargers guy, especially how they play. If their defense blitzes, yeah, Chargers gonna lose. But I get the Chargers this one.
Yeah, we'll see if Bo Nix can have a better game. Cut down on the turnovers. What do you think, Amanda?
I was liking the Chargers for a minute. I'm kind of off the bandwagon. We lost to we barely beat the Bengals. We lose to the Ravens. Barely beat the Falcons. No offense to them, but like, how you want to win that by 4 points? Like, lose to the Chiefs, which is fair. They have Satan on their side or whatever black magic situation that's going on down there. And then we got trounced by the Bucs.
Don't overreact just because your boy woke up feeling dangerous. Chargers are going to bounce back.
No, I'm not saying that I don't trust them to win. I mean, we just saw Bo Nix throw 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
I do think they should win, especially at home, but I am not hype about them like I was a month ago. Like,
yeah.
I've got a lot of questions about
They
what's
got
going on.
some
That defense has not impressed me, and I was all about that defense a month and a half ago. So I'm trying to figure out what they're doing wrong. But I don't think Harbaugh's going to lose at home to the Broncos with a rookie QB. I think he's far too seasoned for that.
Yeah.
So not picking the Broncos here. But my husband says you have to stop picking the Broncos because when you pick them, they lose. So Yeah.
Well, we're all picking the Chargers then. In Harbaugh, we trust. Last thing, NFL news. Quarterback Teddy Bridgewater says he plans on returning to the NFL next season after just winning the state championship at his alma mater high school as head coach. So he's going to be trying to come back.
Is that not the most precious shit ever, though? He was like, I'm actually gonna take a year off from the NFL and go coach my high school team to a state
Yep.
champion. He's so fucking precious. Like, when he says return to the NFL, does he mean like as an assistant?
Probably as a backup quarterback.
That's crazy though. You in 1 year you can fulfill your dreams and say I'm going back to work.
Yeah. That's pretty
Well,
cool.
Harbaugh a few years at Michigan, so
Yeah,
maybe
but I can't be mad at him though, because I would literally do the same thing. Like if I had
Yeah.
like on my checklist and it did take 10 years, I'm like, shoot, I can go back and probably make another 5 or 6 million just sitting on.
Yeah.
I'm running. Hey, I'm back, y'all. I'm back. I would do the same thing though.
if Tim Boyle gets to start a fucking game, Teddy Bridgewater,
Bridgewater
definitely, yeah,
for sure.
be a third string and still make good money. Like I would
Yeah.
I would come back too. You can be a third string and make 2, 3, 4 million. So why not? Like hell.
Yeah. I'm happy for him to have a long, successful career after that devastating injury early on. So,
Right.
big fan of Bridgewater. But great episode, guys. This was a fun week. We're getting down. It was the best time of year. Can't wait for the playoffs right around the corner. So, appreciate you guys making the time. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. And have a great week, guys. Peace out.